So we're going to see like a lot of exciting engineering discoveries being talked about in the classroom. And so that's personally something that's very exciting for me. I think for students, I think that the general thing that helped me was so MIT also puts a lot of its coursework online on OpenCourseWare. So it's ocw.mit.edu. There's a lot of like helpful stuff from our classes, from our ranging from like lecture videos to lecture notes to like textbook recommendations and stuff. So I think that if you want like an education like where you are sort of like pursuing all the STEM stuff that like other students at other universities are pursuing, honestly, the easiest way is just to like look up what people are talking about in that course, or what are the topics that are being covered in those courses. So you can just search those topics up yourself and like read about more about them. So I think one of the best ways that I sort of like learned about different topics at MIT was just looking like finding something that a professor like randomly mentioned in a class or something and being like, oh, that sounds really interesting. And then I go back and then I'm looking up like, what is this about? And then before I know it, I'm on some like lecture slide from some other university and I'm just reading about that particular like niche topic. And I think that sort of learning is really, really helpful. It helps you discover like a lot of different things going on, not only in computer science, but in other fields as well. It also helps you like understand the history of what's going on in your classes. So like, especially in like, at least I can only speak to computer science and math, which is sort of the majors that I pursued at MIT. But in my like in my classes, a lot of things I feel were like better contextualized once I understood why it's important to study them and like why we got to this point where we are talking about this in the classroom, because not all papers and not all like key ideas sort of make it into textbooks or are discussed. There's just too much research going on and there's a lot going on, right? So understanding where this came from and what the field was like when this idea was published and how it changed the field is like really, really exciting to learn about. So I think that's something that is amazing. And I think for courses in general, I think pursuing courses where your like sort of instructor is like sort of like this is their passion, this is their course, like is amazing. I had the privilege to take like classes which was basically like what you would call as someone's specialty. So the instructor had basically done like years of research on this one topic. They were teaching like a specific like sort of insight into their like how do you get introduced to that kind of work, or how do you get introduced to that kind of research. And so they have all these cool ideas or these cool tidbits that they'll mention in class where you're just learning about what is new in the field, what has been some new development in the field, and because they're up to date on the literature, it's really exciting to learn that. So I feel like for every university obviously has like different like sort of people with different specializations and people whose research interests are very different, but taking classes where the specialization and the professor's like own research field sort of like intersect with this course material is like super, super rewarding in my opinion. So I think that was just amazing. So yeah.
So you mentioned for students, they can start with MIT's coursework.